رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا وقدوتنا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Respected brothers and sisters in Islam, first we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala once again. Allah has granted us the tawfiq and the ability to have performed our Maghrieb Salaah with Jama'ah. Alhamdulillah. We make dua, Allah accept our Salah with Jama'ah. Allah grant us sincerity and istiqamah. Ameen Rabbil Alameen. Last week we have spoken about a hadith of the chapter where Imam Suyuti rahimahullah speaks about a hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in where Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam states that from one Sha'ban to the next Sha'ban, or rather in the month of Sha'ban, the 15th of Sha'ban, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives over the Sahifa, the book to Malakul Maut. And this book contains all the names of those who will leave this dunya, all of those who will pass away in the year. This book contains the names. And one narration mentioned Imam Suyuti rahimahullah that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam spoke about the one who will carry on with his normal life. He will be getting married, his wife will be giving birth, and he will be building and erecting his house and renovating his home, and he will carry on with the normal way of life. But little does he know, says Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that his name is amongst those who will leave this dunya that same year. So if a person only apply this principle where a person live, we know that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in terms of our ibadah, especially our salah, he used to say that perform salah as if it is your last salah. Perform salah as if it is your last salah. It will increase you in devotion and khushu' and sincerity in that salah. Now imagine if we live our life from year to year and we tell ourselves that, you know what, I live my year as if my name is in that book that is given to Malakul Maut. Let me live my year as if my name is written in that book and I will be amongst those who leave this dunya, because the reality is we do not know. The reality is none of us know. None of us know when we will leave this dunya. That is in the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's why a person needs to prepare all the time. And if a person have this type of mindset where he tells himself that, you know, the possibility of my name being amongst those who leave this dunya is highly likely, then that person will live a life focused on pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He will live a life using every opportunity every day to do righteous deeds that will bring him closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that will bring him closer to the Jannah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us this realization. Ameen Rabbil Alameen. And this evening, Imam Suyuti rahimahullah, he goes into the chapter. A few months ago I mentioned some of the specific hadith after Fajr one morning, where the same hadith Imam Suyuti rahimahullah he brings two hadith. And this is the chapter where he speaks about the meeting of the arwah, when the deceased souls, when they meet. And he brings a hadith of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, أخرج ابن أبي الدنيا والطبراني في الأوسط عن أبي أيوب الأنصاري رضي الله عنه أن رسول صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إن نفس المؤمن إذا قبضت تلقاها أهل الرحمة من عباد الله كما يلقون البشير من أهل الدنيا. That Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, when a person's ruh is taken, and now he goes to the different samawat, and some narration mention this happens in the first samawat, the sama of the dunya, where he meets the Ahlul Rahmah, the people who Allah has favored them with His Rahmah. So now this person is no more in a state as we know him. He's not in the body anymore. That body was just a vessel. This is now his ruh, the malaika moving with his ruh. And he will meet some of the relatives and some of the people who knew him in this dunya. And they will be waiting for him as how someone is waiting for someone who's bringing news. Great tidings, someone is bringing news. So they have this approach when they see this person they know. He also passed away, and we're meeting him at that moment, and they will come and they will come to the deceased person and they will have a whole lot of questions. And it will be said to them, أنذروا صاحبكم يستريح فإنه كان في كرب شديد. That give your sahib some rest. He just came from a very difficult time. As you mentioned earlier, that the transition from this dunya to the next is a very difficult thing to go through, and the pains and the difficulty connected to it. So the malaika will tell them that leave him, give him a break, let him first settle in. ثم يسألون ما فعل فلان وفلانة هل تزوجت. They will ask, how is this person, how is that person, this lady, did this one get married? It might be your wife they're asking. You have passed away, did my wife get married? So you're waiting for news. Then فَإِذَا سَأَلُوا عَنِ الرَّجُلْ قَدْ مَاتَ قَبْلَهُ. And then eventually they will not ask and carry on and he will respond until they come asking regarding people who passed away before him. So they will ask, for example, regarding Brother Ahmad. By way of example, then he will say that Muhammad, he passed away 3 years ago. Before me, I passed away now only. He passed away 3 years ago already. And then the people of Rahmah, they will say that Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. ذُهِبَ بِهِ إِلَى أُمِّهِ الْهَاوِيَةِ. That they will realize that this person wasn't so lucky. This person has taken another route, and that is to the displeasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imagine how sad it would be if you're asking regarding your children or regarding your brother or regarding your husband, and they say, no, but your husband passed away 5 years ago. So meaning he's not with the people of Rahmah, then he's with the other, he's on the other place. He's on the opposite side. And this will be something that will cause distress to them. And then Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Imam Suyuti rahimahullah, so this is the first hadith he brings it when the arwah, when they meet. So what we realize it in the barzakh, in the life of the amwat, we cannot perceive it. Allah mentioned in the Quran that the ruh is from the matters of Allah. So the knowledge Allah has given to us regarding the ruh is very little. We will never be able to perceive the condition and the life of the ruh. And then the second hadith, Imam Suyuti rahimahullah, he says that قال إن أعمالكم ترد على أقاربكم وعشائركم من أهل الآخرة. That Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, indeed, the people of the Akhirah, meaning those who has preceded you, and now you find yourself amongst the living. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, your relatives that passed on, your mother, your father, your sons, they will get an update now and then of what you are doing and what's happening to you in this dunya. Imagine they will get an update of what's happening to you in this dunya that's alive. فَإِنْ كَانَ خَيْرًا فَرِحُوا وَاسْتَبْشَرُوا. If it is something that is good, if it is something that is pleasing to them, they hear that my child is reading Quran, is reading khatam upon khatam for his father and mother, or is spending sadaqahs, giving charity on their behalf. These things, farihu, they become happy with it. It gives them hope and they become happy with it when they hear these type of news. قالوا اللهم هذا فضلك ورحمتك. They will say that, oh Allah, this is only due to your fadl and your rahmah, to your virtue and because of your rahmah, that we're receiving this good news. فأتمم نعمتك علي وأمته عليها. And oh Allah, complete your favors upon them, and oh Allah, take them away from this dunya while they're in that state of righteousness and goodness. Imagine this is a dua that the deceased is making on behalf for the person who his deeds is being presented to him from his close relatives. وَيُعْرَضُ عَلَيْهِ عَمَلَ السُّوءِ. And also at the same time, sometimes they get a feedback or update on the evil we do as well. Many times you say, as Daddy moet zien wat die aangaan, het draaien zich gaat om. Daddy also get informed from this hadith. So we shouldn't take it as it is no more here anymore, so we can do what we want. When we fight amongst one another as children, imagine receiving news like this, that your family members are completely broken apart, fighting over inheritance or fighting over whatever the case might be. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if it is that it's evil or something, that it is something evil, the report, فَيَقُولُونَ اللَّهُمَّ أَلْهِمُوا عَمَلًا صَالِحًا. Oh Allah, guide them and inspire them to do righteous deeds. صَالِحًا تَرْضَى بِهِ وَتُقَرِّبُ إِلَيْكَ. Oh Allah, grant them to do righteous deeds, to gain them closeness to you. Imagine, this is a dua that they make for us. So our actions at times are being presented to them, and that's why many ahadith Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, for example, when the children make istighfar for the father and mother, they see the effects of this istighfar. In which way they see the effects? Their level in Jannah, it goes higher and higher, it gets elevated. And then they will ask, what is the reason for this? We don't do any more deeds. We cannot perform salah, we cannot do fasting anymore. So what is the reason that Allah is upgrading and elevating our status in Jannah? And it will be said, that is because of the istighfar of your son and your daughter for you. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of those who will send gifts to our deceased loved ones who have passed on, in form of charity, in forms of the tilawah of the Quran, in forms of righteous deeds, in forms of the uniting families, in the form of keeping the family united. All of things will make them happy, and then we make dua, Allah protect us from ever causing any sadness upon them in terms of they getting an update of our evil that we do in this dunya. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us a tawfiq and understanding. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.